Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to sunny Scotland, which is quite an unusual thing for us because we had 4 seasons in one day yesterday, even a bit of snow. Um, as I've been introduced, I'm head teacher of St Martin's Primary in Glasgow, and Emma is one of the deputy heads. We have a very unusual context in that we have the largest complex needs provision in the city for primary children, and we have a mainstream primary alongside that. On to the second slide. Yes, next slide. Can we change the slide, please, and I'll talk through this. It's very small. So we have a mainstream primary of about 194 children. We have 79 children in our enhanced provision, which is children with complex needs who are transported all around the city to come to us. We have got 84% of our learners are in SIMD bands 1 to 4. So that's the social index of multiple deprivation, which is we're really considered amongst the poorest children in Scotland. And the reasons for that have just been captured in everything that everyone has said before us. It's around poverty of experience, poverty, financial poverty, fuel poverty, food poverty, poverty of language in terms of what they have in terms of vocabulary to access learning. We have got a very neurodiverse community where there is lots of hidden elements around these children's experiences due to the fact that we don't have that day-to-day daily contact with families because so many children are bussed into us. There are 160 children out of the almost 300 children who are bussed into us on a day and daily basis. I have a management team that consists of myself, 2 deputies and 3 principal teachers. We've got 29 teachers and 31 support for learning workers. We have got a really big team, including escorts and a child development officer. And so the big challenge for us is how do we incorporate meeting the children's needs in every aspect of their day and daily living. We have got children who are awaiting leave to remain. We have got families who are currently here illegally and who are going through the process to get their leave to remain. We have got a high percentage of, sorry, excuse me, a high percentage of refugees. We have got, it's an absolute melting pot of every level of need that you could possibly imagine. In terms of a variety of nationalities, we have 6% of white Scottish children, and the rest are predominantly Asian, African, Eastern European. So there's lots of issues that come in and around that. So the big challenge for us is how we meet their learning needs, how we meet their communication needs, how we safeguard our children, and how we can safely ensure that when they come into school that they are welcomed, that they feel safe, and that that very, very basic level need of being fed is ensured on a day and daily basis. Despite all the kind of high level stats of deprivation, we kind of kick the trend when it comes to attendance. Our attendance hasn't dipped post-COVID. We're currently, I think, about 92% of the school attends every single day. Part of the reason that we think that happens is because parents know that the children get fed when they come to school. We have had a long-standing relationship with Magic Breakfast. I think this is into our 8th year of that. And the fact that we are able to say that, there has been no dip in attendance through all the various challenges that we've had, and we can strongly link it to children not being food poor, knowing that when they come in, they are part of our community who celebrates breakfast together in the morning. There is zero stigma attached to that. There is zero cost of the school day attached to that. And we say to parents, we would much rather that our children were in, even if it's late, than them not being in at all. Some of our children would be off because, if the parents get them up in the morning, they have to feed them, or if they get them up in the morning, they have to feed them and put on, like the gas or the electricity. And when you've got a very finite pot of money, if your children are sleeping, you don't have to have the heating on. So we've kind of removed that as being a daily battle and choice for some of our families.
Next slide, please. So you can see some of the factors that we have noticed and that are particular to our school. As Donna mentioned before, the SIMD, so the Scottish Multiple Index, the factors that tell us our children are in poverty are really high in our area. How this impacts is that children will come in hungry. How we deal with this is our management team are timetabled every single day, Monday to Friday. We will make the bagels, we will make the toast, and we take that out to the children in the mainstream, into the playground. And then we have that soft data on who's taking toast, who's taking bagels, who's coming back for more, who's presenting in a way that would give us concern. And we know that from first thing in the morning. We can look at trends. We can speak to social work first thing in the morning if there's anything that is concerning. As we have what was previously two schools come together as one, we have, as Donna said, 80 children with additional support needs. So that includes autism, ADHD, children with more complex needs on one side of the school. We tend to have a lot more children with neurodiversity in our mainstream as well. So there are a lot of issues around sleep with our children. They don't have good sleep patterns. So getting them up in the morning and getting them into school is very stressful from our parents. So knowing that when they do come in, that breakfast is waiting for them, that the children will get that breakfast, they'll also get that wee chat that we talked about as well, and that will come into school. So that really reduces that anxiety. It helps the parents to know, no, I'll send them, just like Donna said, even if it's late. That keeps our attendance high. Well, recently we have had to do attendance meetings with some of our parents. And one of the notable appointments that we had with parents was two parents actually, who recently got their asylum status. So they were immediately taken out their accommodation and put on the Glasgow housing list. When they went on the Glasgow housing list, because there's a housing crisis at the moment, they weren't able to be given a home, so they were put in temporary accommodation, which was like a bed and breakfast. So how do they access, food in the morning for their children at a cost that is accessible? One of our families was lucky enough to have a really close relationship with their local church, and the dad said to me he was basically living in the church, so they only go to sleep in the bed and breakfast, that actually the people in the church, and knowing that when the children come into school, they could have their breakfast in the school. These were all the things that were supporting the school, that were supporting the children. And that we know that the other family, their accommodation was really far away. They actually should have enrolled at another school, but because they knew that the support that we provide through external agencies such as Magic Breakfast, the parent didn't want to take their children out of our school. They wanted to continue. So she was leaving early in the morning, putting the children on the bus, coming with them and coming collecting them at the end of the day. So all of those factors we are getting from our parents, and we are really, Magic Breakfast is one of the contributors, one of the organisations who's really helping us to meet those individual needs that we are finding out when we speak to parents in our community. I think that's it. The last picture is just a wee picture of us. The mainstream, we go out every morning into, so the photograph on the left there is one of our PTs there, making the bagels and the toast that we take out to the playground. And then for our ASN children who come in transport, each class is a wee individual basket there with the children's individual orders, and that's taken in again, made part of that daily routine in the class.